This is part 2 of a 3-part video series in which I will demonstrate how to use the Telit Industrial Internet of Things platform to pull data from a device and display that data on a human-readable dashboard hosted on Telit's online portal. In the first video, we pulled data from a UR and stored it or reading it locally on a Telit gateway. In this video, we're going to focus on taking that data and publishing it to the Telit portal. Let's go ahead and hop right into DeviceWise. In the first video, we did our device configuration. You can see our UR3 is still here. We're going to go ahead and create a new project. Give it a name. We'll call it UR3E monitor. And we can also give the project a description for Telit video. And now with our project created, we can double click on this and we can start adding programs to our project. To do that, we'll just click on New and it'll pop up this canvas editor here. And to publish the data that we want to the Telit portal, we're going to select from this drop down, Publish Property. Go ahead and drag that in here. You'll notice it auto-routed from start to Publish Property because it's the first block I dragged into the canvas editor. We'll also drag in 2 more blocks. End execution. Green is the end execution success, and red, end execution failure. We'll go ahead and drag the red triangle to the end execution failure and the blue one to the end execution success. Now we need to configure our publish property block, and we'll do that. We'll just double click on the block itself and we'll get this publish property editor window here. And the 2 line items we care about are property and value. Property is the name that's going to appear on our Telit portal, and the value, it's the value of that property. And if you recall from the first video, the 7 items that we're interested in publishing to the Telit portal are all the joint currents and general purpose register 128. So this is our first property. We're going to go ahead and assign this to our base current. We're going to call that UR3 base current. And the value is going to be that Modbus register that we're reading. And if you recall from our Modbus map, register 290 right here is the base current. So from our value, we can select from the drop down here, UR3 as our device, the holding register variable, scroll all the way down 290. You'll notice that there's no save button or anything on this window. We can simply close it and it saves our data. A couple more things we need to do before we can save this program, and that's to give it a name. So we're going to call this UR3E base current, and we'll say 5S for 5 seconds. And that's because I'm going to set the trigger event type to schedule with a period of 5,000 milliseconds. Okay, with that done, we can now click on Save, and you'll notice that I do get a warning here. That's just because one of the outputs on my published property is not tied to any route, or it has an unconnected route, which is fine in this case. It's a warning on an error, so we can save. And I'm just going to go ahead and close the editor because I want to make more programs that are effectively the same. And I don't have to actually make the programs from scratch. I can right-click on this program, since they're all basically going to be identical in function, and click on Duplicate. And it will prompt me to put in a new name, and I'll go ahead and I'll type in shoulder instead, because we're going to monitor the shoulder current in this program. I'll duplicate again. I'll do that for each joint. And the last one, general purpose register 128. Okay, right now, all of these programs, since I duplicated them, are doing the exact same thing. So we need to change that publish property block. So we'll start with the elbow current right here. I'll double click on the publish property, and I need to give a new name to the property, and then I need to change the value. The elbow joint current register is 292. And click Save. Yes, and close the editor. Okay, and our last program here, the general purpose register 128. I'm going to change the data type here for that register to unsigned integer 2. And that's because I don't want to read this value as a negative number. I want the values to be between 0 and 65, 535. We'll go ahead and save that as well. Okay, now that I have all of my programs created, I should be able to highlight all of these and click on Start. Don't forget to start the project, otherwise they don't run. Okay, there we go. So I paused for about a minute, and it looks like we are now successful. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and pull up the online Telit portal. And you see we have a few devices already on our portal. This is our gateway here, and these are other demo gateways that we have on our portal. So you can have multiple gateways on one account. I'm going to click on this View Device-Wise Enterprise Gateway for our gateway here by clicking the I symbol. And I can see that our gateway is online with the green chain link here. If it was offline, this would be red. I can also go over here to Events and see the last time it was connected, disconnected, with timestamps and all that. Okay. And you'll notice down here, there's a Properties headline that has some properties in here that I have left over from a previous project, but if we scroll down, we should see our UR3E current, and we see values in those properties as well. Looks like everything's here, everything's receiving data from the gateway. Currently, our general purpose register is 128. Change this value to verify that we're actually getting data. Okay, I've pulled up our robot interface, our polyscope interface here. This is general purpose register 128, and I can go ahead and change that to say 14785. If I move this out of the way, we should see, and there it is, 14785. And that concludes part 2 of the video series.